Morning. Should have told me if you're getting contractions.
Well, I'm not getting contractions.
But you are having the baby?
Well, not at the moment, I'm not, no.
So why have you got me doing this?
Because I'm having the baby today.
How do you know that?
Well, because I have to. Because if I don't have the baby today, I am going to go mad.
Yes, I will remember. I can pick some up on my way home. Okay. See you later. Bye. Mac, anything I can help you with?
How do you see your future, Mark?
In what way?
Professionally.
Don't know, really.
I find that hard to believe. You've always struck me as someone who plans ahead.
Yes, well, I'm rather more occupied with the present at the moment.
Really?
Well, it's not as if I have any great plan. With me being a locum, I'm working pretty much day to day.
So you'd be happier with something more permanent?
Well, of course, if the opportunity was right.
How about a permanent position here?
I wasn't aware there was a position available.
Well, one is about to become available. A partnership, actually.
Partnership?
Yes, Helen's. She's decided to leave.
Morris.
I've always known Helen liked research, but I am surprised she's leaving.
Why should you be surprised?
She's so much a part of the practice, I can't imagine it without her.
No, neither can I. I mean, there was that research position in Australia, which you didn't get.
Yeah. Wonder what's different about this Leeds post. Something must have changed her mind.
Or someone.
What do you mean?
Doesn't it strike you as odd that she decides to leave almost as soon as you arrive in Leatherbridge?
Oh, come on, Matt. I didn't come back to Leatherbridge to break up your practice.
That's what you did last time.
I wanted to move the practice on. I was ambitious.
And now you're not.
The mill is a superb facility. As I said, I'm working on a day-to-day basis. I came back to Leatherbridge because I have a house here. I have connections.
History.
History, yes. Some of it difficult, I know.
Painful, maybe. Have you any idea how betrayed I felt when you lured Helen away?
I did not lure Helen away. She is a grown woman and an informed professional, and as far as I'm aware, Helen makes her own decisions.
Decisions can be influenced.
Helen's leaving has nothing to do with me.
Sorry, I've got Mrs. Askew in my room. She's complaining about a tightness in her chest.
I've told you, I'm not coming out.
Morris, please.
just come out here and we can talk about it.
Apparently he was in at 7.
Was
Ever gets here at 7?
Privately.
I've got nothing to talk about.
Morris, you've built a wigwam around your desk.
It isn't a wigwam, it's a yurt.
I'm not sure that makes any difference.
It does if you're Mongolian. Mongolians build yurts, Native Americans make wigwams, or teepees, depending on tribe, climate, or geography.
Morris, as far as I'm aware, you are neither a Mongolian nor a Native American. You come from Halesowen.
You don't know that there aren't any Mongolian nomads in Halesowen.
I'm taking a guess.
There's a pub that does a Mongolian barbecue. They've got a yurt. It's in the beer garden next to the bouncy castle.
Morris, I'm not interested in the catering arrangements of pubs. I'm interested in getting this office back to normal.
How do you mean by normal?
I'm beginning to wonder.
It's not inducing the birth per se.
How do you mean, per se?
It's more kind of encouraging the birth.
But I thought we'd agreed to a natural childbirth.
Yeah, we did.
But don't you have to go to the hospital to be induced?
Ah, not necessarily. No, there are natural ways of doing it.
Like what?
Like a warm bath.
And that's not just an old wives' tale.
Well, there's no harm in trying, and a warm, relaxing bath might get my body in the mood. And if you had been the size of a baby elephant for as long as I have, you'd give it a go.
Well, okay, let's give it a go.
Good, right. Well, I'll have the water a tad above body temperature, please.
Morris, you have to come out.
Can't come out.
Yes, you can.
I can't. They won't let me.
Who are they?
The people who told me to do this.
What people?
The coffee machine people.
From the vending company?
No, the people who live in the coffee machine.
Oh, Morris, nobody lives in the coffee machine.
You mean you haven't heard them?
Of course I haven't heard them. There's nobody there.
Perhaps they've chosen not to communicate with you. They only communicate with selected individuals.
You're telling me.
Sorry.
I said, so you tell me. Morris, I know this has happened to you before. There's nothing to be ashamed about.
Why should I be ashamed?
Sorry, I don't mean ashamed. I mean, Morris, the best thing to do is to come out of there.
No.
Morris, if you don't come out, I've got no option but to inform Mr. Blake. He will have to deal with the situation.
Morris Napper. I knew we should have never taken him back. Voices from the coffee machine.
I don't think he's feeling well.
He's built a wigwam around his desk.
Actually, Morris says it's a yurt. Mongolian nomad.
I know what a yurt is. It's a major disruption to this office. This area, my area, has the highest sales figures in the company. I will not see that affected by this loony.
Paul, you can't call him that.
Oh, sorry, what would you prefer? Sociopath?
Morris is bipolar.
Yes, well, whatever he is, I won't have this office disrupted. I'm going to solve this particular problem permanently.
Anything?
Not even a twinge.
How about deep breathing?
Huh?
So one of the videos that you got. Deep breathing. Somehow gets the body into the rhythm of childbirth.
No, that's how you deal with contractions. It doesn't start them anyway. I tried some meditation last night, it didn't work. Oh, there has got to be something.
Maybe that's the stalk.
Mr. Napper, I shouldn't have to repeat this. Would you come out? Morris, I'd appreciate it if you'd come out now. Napper, if you don't come out of there, I have two very large lads here who will come and pull you out.
You can't do that.
Want to try me?
That would be assault.
That would be a solution to a security issue, and you are the issue.
Morris's GP's on his way.
I think we need a doctor to prove that he's bonkers.
Paul, it's a precaution. If Morris is experiencing an episode, it's prudent to have medical help.
Maybe you're right. But if he doesn't get here soon, I'm going to send the boys in.
We should be careful.
Oh, should we?
We have to make sure we stay within the bounds of the law, especially as the police are going to be here.
The police? Why have you called the police?
It's been a long time since I did obstetrics, but when I was a houseman, I had a patient who used to swear that curry was a good way to bring on labour. But of course, you tried that.
And I don't think the Spice Masala cottage is open this time of the day.
You see, I'm willing to persevere, and if you were any kind of husband, you would go up to the supermarket and get me a Vindaloo.
Oh yeah, and I had a friend who worked in Devon who had a patient who was a farmer's wife, and she used to swear that riding on a tractor was a good way to bring things on.
You could drive you down to the supermarket on the bonnet of the car and you could eat the curry on the way back.
If you had been carrying this weight around for 9 months, I don't think you'd be quite so facetious.
I'm not being facetious. I'm willing to try anything. Really.
Why did you call the police?
As a precaution.
We can manage, Kelly. There's no need for the police to come here.
Why don't you want the police coming here?
Because it will make the company look bad, not to mention causing further alarm amongst the employees. Duty of care, Kelly. You're head of human resources. You should know all about that.
I'm aware of my job description.
I'm sorry, Kelly. I know I've been a bit snappy of late.
Yes, you have been.
It's just that head office has been pushing us really, really hard. And you know how much I like to be number one. We're going to get knocked off top spot if we keep losing days to things like this. Besides, the last thing I need now is PC Plod coming to the mix.
Well, I think you might be too late.
Hi, Dr. Clay, Morris's GP, so where is he then? Uh-huh.
My grandmother always said that castor oil was useful.
And what do you do with the castor oil?
You drink it.
Ew, really?
It can be a bit relaxative though. Don't really want any unnecessary accidents.
Or perhaps we could use cod liver oil as an alternative. I'll get it.
Useless.
Well, he's done his bit.
So long ago, I can't remember.
Have I missed something?
Not yet, you haven't.
Morris, it's Dr. Clay.
How can I be sure?
Don't you recognize my voice?
You could be an agent of the nefarious powers, a hydra-headed shapeshifter with a myriad voices.
Sounds like a fair description.
Look, I can assure you this is Dr. Clay. Look, here's my ID.
How do I know that you've not kidnapped Dr. Clay and are falsely using his ID?
If he has, he's stolen his face as well.
Look, Morris, you're just gonna have to trust me.
Okay.
Morris, look, tell me, why have you, built this on your desk?
Trying to brighten the place up a bit, I shouldn't wonder.
It's for protection, Morris. Is that why you built it?
No. Yes, maybe. I don't know. I just had to build it.
Well, because someone told you to? Morris.
Come on, Greg. You were the last one to do obstetrics. You must be able to think of something.
Walking? Well, if the baby's still high, it could encourage a better position.
Except I'm not walking, I'm waddling.
Well, walking can also help stimulate the production of oxytocin.
What?
Oxytocin is the contraction hormone.
Of course, there is one other way they think helps trigger oxytocin. Sex.
I had no choice. I had to do it.
Well, because the voices told you to build it. Well, that's what I've been told, Morris, that you've heard voices from the coffee machine telling you to build this. Is that right?
I've got to talk to you privately.
This is privately.
No, I mean even more private. I want you to come in here.
So, sex gets us into this situation in the first place.
Well, we can't fault your biology.
You see, it's not the biology he's having trouble with, it's the human geography.
What, you want me to do it right here?
Why not?
I think that's our signal to leave.
I'm right behind you.
Good luck.
I'm sure it will all come flooding back.
You're not going in there.
Morris is harmless.
Maybe he has been harmless to date. But what if he's changed? What if he's become psychotic or schizophrenic?
Morris isn't schizophrenic or psychotic.
He looks manic, though.
Morris is bipolar.
But that includes manic episodes.
Well, in
It
certain-
does. We know it does. From all the research we did when we were rehabilitating Morris back into the company. Didn't we, Kelly?
Yes.
I don't know about you, but that looks pretty manic to me.
I do find it surprising. Morris has been doing really well.
Really? Personally, I've found some of his behaviours getting even more erratic. Isn't that so, Kelly?
Well, I...
Morris has become something of a liability to this company.
I thought he was a good worker.
Was, past tense. But some of his current behavior has been not only strange, but possibly detrimental to the company's interests. To tell you the truth, I was only keeping him on because I was worried that dismissal might further affect his health.
You didn't tell me that.
Managerial decision. You have to find the right time to act, especially with matters such as this. Unfortunately, looks like I should have acted sooner.
Well, if you consider things to be that bad, I'd better do my job.
Thank you, Doctor. I know it's a difficult course of action.
Well, my job's to make an examination. Any diagnosis or action must be based upon the examination, so, if you'll excuse me.
Dr. Clay?
Hey, Morris?
Ronnie.
So have you really been hearing voices from the coffee machine?
Of course not.
What's the wigwam about then?
It's a yurt.
A yurt?
A Mongolian yurt.
There's a difference?
There is if you're Mongolian. Actually, you might think it's a wigwam, I might think it's a yurt. In fact, it's really a red herring.
The doctor shouldn't be in there.
I agree, on safety grounds. But he's doing what he thinks is best.
The best thing for all of us is if Morris Napper is sectioned.
We haven't established if he has potential to harm himself or others.
Yes, well, we'll see when you have to go in and get the doctor out of there. Look, the man is obviously off his rocker. Can't you get the doctor just to section him?
No, I can't. That kind of decision is for the doctor to make.
Dubai, Monaco, Paris. Mr. Blake gets around. Furthest I get in my job's a conference in Cleethorpes.
Well, the company doesn't have business in any of those places.
But it says Blake was visiting potential clients.
That's what it says. But we didn't get any subsequent business from them, though.
You sure?
I'm in accounts. I see the figures and the expenses. Here.
Dinner, nice. Lunch, wow. Knows what to eat too.
Hardly a sandwich wrapped in cellophane, is it?
Morris, these expenses are real, aren't they?
You wouldn't make them up.
No, I mean, you don't have something against Paul Blake.
Should I?
I don't know. I thought he was the one that kept your job open for you here.
That was Kelly Martin. Blake wanted to get rid of me.
You sure?
I heard him say it.
Morris, this isn't some kind of vendetta.
No. It's fraud.
What do you mean you've got to do something?
Morris. He's been accessing accounting department files.
But he works in accounts.
He's been accessing account files he shouldn't have been.
What account files?
My private expense files.
So Blake did want to dismiss you?
Since he found out that I've been accessing his expense accounts. It got worse yesterday. That's when he found out that I'd also been looking at his client accounts.
What do you mean?
Some accounts that were administered solely by me.
But that's not company policy.
No, you're right, it's not.
Blake set up a number of accounts for what he referred to as direct client accounts. Accounts which he oversaw personally, contrary to company policy.
So the accounts are for his eyes only?
Except that I found them.
So what was Blake doing with the money? Was he going the same way as the expenses?
Sort of.
It's near Kyrenia, Northern Cyprus.
Paul?
The UK has no formal extradition treaty for Northern Cyprus. They won't be able to touch us.
Paul?
We've got more than enough tucked away. We can live in luxury.
Paul! It's over between us. It has been for months.
These are the last two files I need. Account records from his personal files. And the emails he sent the bank in Cyprus.
But you hacked into his personal files?
Sorry, but I needed the records. After Blake confronted me yesterday about accessing his direct client accounts, I knew he'd get rid of me as soon as he could. That's why I built the yurt.
The Red Heron?
Yes, I did it to buy me time so I could get the final files together. Morris Delumi. I was bargaining that Kelly wouldn't let Blake get me out by force. She's not so bad. She just has a poor taste in men.
But you love me.
I don't. It should never have happened.
You seemed to enjoy it at the time. Where do you think the money came from to pay for all those weekends away?
Well, I thought you paid for them.
Kelly, I'm the West Midlands area manager, not the managing director.
You put put them through on expenses.
What do you think?
And what about the villa?
So why didn't you tell anyone else?
Me, Morris Napper, the loony. Who would believe me?
You have a condition, which we've been managing. Why shouldn't they believe you?
I had to be sure. I can't afford to lose my job or look after my mother. I needed as much information as I could.
So what are you going to do with this information now?
I was planning on going to the managing director.
Well, the police are outside. You could tell them as well as telling the MD.
Would they believe me?
They think you have evidence?
I mean, because my condition.
Morris, you seem perfectly rational to me, even with the yurt.
You are not going to implicate me in this.
But you are implicated. You came with me on those trips. We were having a relationship.
But I didn't know how you were funding them. And I certainly knew nothing about this villa.
You think they're going to believe you?
What about my marriage?
You weren't thinking about that when we were in Paris.
Can't you stop them finding out?
If we can stop Morris handing over any files, he's probably merrily downloading them in there right now.
Can't we cut the electricity? The files might be backed up on the hard drive, but at least we could stop him while the police are here.
That's my girl.
Must be a power cut.
Blake, it's just the kind of thing he would do.
Have you lost the files?
I was backing him up on the laptop.
Systems access.
There. Got them.
Or him?
So, if we compare them to last month's figures, we can see why we need to increase the order.
Yeah, I can see that. Now, that's a good idea, because what we could do is take the... Mike, is there a problem?
Mark. Once again, he comes into the practice and throws everything into turmoil. The first time, he split my staff. This time, he forced my most experienced and valued partner to resign.
Well, I don't think that was his intention.
What do you think his motives are?
I don't know. Perhaps you should try asking him.
No, we shouldn't. They'll be at it like two snarling dogs. Men! Honestly.
Mr. Napper, you say all the files we need are on the hard drive of your laptop?
Yes.
We'll be needing it down the station.
Officer.
Mr. Blake?
Come on.
No, Paul.
Mr. Blake! There's no point.
Come on!
I'm going somewhere. I think you've both got a bit of explaining to do.
So you're telling me you came back here for entirely practical reasons?
Yes. There was no Machiavellian plan to take over the practice. Leatherbridge was somewhere I'd lived and worked. It was the logical choice.
And it was the logical place to settle down Makara. Mark?
When I met Cara, it wasn't quite real. I mean, not like over here. It was very heady, very Graham Greene. You know, strangers being thrown together in an international trouble spot.
But you got engaged.
Cara's very strong-willed. She was very keen that we should.
So you got engaged to Cara, knowing that really you were in love with Helen?
It was you that asked Mark to come back in the first place.
Was it?
And one of the main reasons for that was because you thought that it would make Helen happy.
And that worked out fine, didn't it?
It's Helen leaving that's bothering you, isn't it? Mac, I've spoken to her and I honestly don't think that her resignation has got anything to do with Mark being here.
What makes you so sure?
Well, bear in mind what she's been through. Especially with Jack. And then before that there was Phil. It can't be easy bringing the kids up on her own either.
And yet she still found time to be an excellent doctor.
Yeah, she did. And even with that whole business at best, she was still loyal to you.
Well, no one said life was going to be straightforward, did they?
That's because it isn't. You know, we all need change. Sometimes we just need to feel like ourselves, and that can mean making a complete break.
Well,
You've always wanted Helen to be happy, haven't you?
that's all I've ever wanted for her.
Then let her go, Mac, with your blessing.
Well, it's not going to be easy. We've been through a lot together. I'm going to miss her. All right, that was the one impractical reason for coming back to Leatherbridge. Before I settled down, I just wanted to see if there was anything, a spark, with Helen.
She likes you.
But she doesn't love me. That's the difference. Anyway, you and I could have ended up together.
What?
Well, you remember that night we had?
Of course.
Well, if things had turned out differently, we could be together now.
What, with our track record?
Yeah, maybe not. Anyway, I'm glad we're still friends.
Me too. That's why I can tell you that you need to be honest with yourself about Cara. Do you really want to spend the rest of your life with her?